Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Cash, and we are going to go over some numbers. This is Weekly Recap. If you're not familiar with Weekly Recap, let me fill you in on what we got going on here. I'm going to go over my numbers of operating a truck in the United States. I have a 2016 Freightliner Cascadia. I'm very fuel efficient. I don't like to idle the truck. I do everything I can to save fuel, and that works out, for me pretty good. I'm leased to an 80-20 split refrigerated carrier. They get to 20, I get to 80. I pull their trailer. I don't talk about the carrier. If you want to do something similar to this, find yourself a good carrier, do the research, and you'll be glad you did. Mostly, I think you will. And yeah, that's it. That's a weekly recap. I don't put these numbers out to brag. I don't put them out to complain. They are just information. However they make you feel emotionally is up to you. So, if they make you mad, then hey, they made you mad. They don't make me mad. Just numbers. You know what I mean? Don't let numbers make you mad. It's not a good way to go through life. You know what I mean? So let's talk about it here. I like to go Minnesota out and back, and then spend some home time. Go Minnesota out and back, kind of my thing, kind of what I do. That's how I like it. That's how I've set it up over the years to be able to do that. So let's talk about this particular week. This week is going to be the week after Thanksgiving 2023, so the end of November 2023. If you're watching this in the future, be sure to smash that like button for me. Hell, if you're watching it now, smash the like button for me. And let's get into it. So I went down to Iowa and got a load going to Texas, starting off 43,000 pounds, negative 10 degrees. That load was 174 empty miles, 1,083 loaded miles, and that load paid $3,700. There you go. Next, I was down there in Texas. I got a load in Texas, just a little, intrastate deal there, going from Texas, basically Houston to Dallas is what this was. 34,000 pounds, 70 degrees. Yeah, 70 degrees. Had to be in a reefer trailer, had to be running at 70. Just what it is. And that load was 28 empty miles, and that was 295 loaded miles, 323 total miles, and that load paid $1,100. So, not a bad run there, and that got me into out of Houston up more toward Dallas. I typically do better out of Dallas. On this next load, this was kind of not what I wanted to do, but you guys, if you don't get it, you don't get it. I ain't trying to make you get it. I ain't trying to, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they don't get how it works. Sometimes you got to do some things. But basically, what it was, this next load was booked by my carrier for another driver, and his radiator exploded, and they didn't want to give the load back. It's not a particularly like out of this world load, but it's a consistent load out of Texas that we do quite a bit. It's something I said I wasn't going to do again. It was a chicken load, but I went over and got it for them because they didn't want to give it back. I totally understand where they're coming from in this freight market. You don't want to make it a habit of giving loads back. So if there's a way I can make profit and we can stay on it, I will do it. So that's what happened. They called me. They said, "Hey, will you go recover this load? It's not loaded yet." So I was like, "Yeah, that's my thing. I don't like to recover someone else's trailer. I like to go get it loaded myself if possible. I don't like dropping hook. I like pulling the same trailer I got. For I know what it is and I know what it ain't. So um, that's why I like keeping my trailer. But I went over, got the load. It was 41,000 pounds, 26 degrees, and it was 253 empty miles and 944 loaded miles. And that's 1197 total miles for $1,800. Not particularly what I want to be doing, especially being a chicken load. Um, it had the best washout of any place I've ever been. I'll put a picture up here of the washout. Yeah, yeah, sometimes you end up in some places you don't want to end up. And that's why I don't like doing chicken loads, because here's my thing with a chicken load. Why are you so picky on my trailer before we get it loaded? Okay? Because number one, the chicken is in a box wrapped in plastic, typically inside of another box wrapped in plastic. Okay? Like a little dirt on the floor ain't gonna spoil the chicken, trust me. But here's the thing. Every time I'm done with a chicken load, my trailer is destroyed. Like it has to have a washout. So I'm not a fan when they require a washout before and after. Oh, that ticks me off because it's just a waste of money on the before. You know what I mean? I blow it out with a leaf blower. It looks good. No, no, you got to have a rinse out receipt. And I'm just like, does your cousin own the rinse out? Is that what it is? Because it's like, you know how those things work in those small towns. You go there and you're like, yeah, yeah, the cousin runs the washout. That's what it is. But let's talk numbers on this week. $6,600 total revenue for the week. That's 5280 my cut, my 80%. I did 2,777 all miles, 455 empty miles, 2322 loaded miles, and that's 16% deadhead. So a lot of deadhead going over there to recover that chicken load. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. $2.38 a mile for every mile the truck turned. $1.90, my 80% worked out to be $1.90. 284 on a loaded mile, so about national average there, 284. Not a bad week. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's okay in this market. I feel okay with this. I spent 1502 on diesel. I spent 144 on reefer fuel. I spent $19 on DEF fluid. I spent $58 on tolls. And I spent $28 on scales. Yes, scaled the first and last load. Did not scale that one in the middle there. And that makes my variable cost 1748. You bring over my 5280. You subtract out the 1748 variable cost, and that leaves me 3532 after the variable cost, and I put 500 of that over to the maintenance account, which I have been blowing through here lately. Oh Lord. And $3,032 left to do what I have to do with 54 cents a mile fuel cost. Now, every time I do a weekly recap, there's always one guy in the comments that says, "Oh, I just don't get why you would be an owner operator for that kind of money." And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, 32, 30, 32 is not bad, and they're always like, well, I make more than that, doing this or doing that. And I'm going to tell you right now, um, that 30, 32, I still got some insurance cost. I still got, truck replacement cost. It's got to come out of that. Let's say that was $500 a week just for that. Okay. It's not, my insurance is not that high, but whatever. Let's say it's 500 a week. That would still leave 2532. Okay. Um, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're generating more than 2532 as a company driver, you should stay a company driver. You should. I am in no way trying to get people to be owner operators with these numbers. I'm not trying to convince you or discourage you. These are just straight across the board. But I can tell you right now, if I was generating a consistent $2,500 a week revenue as a company driver, to me, like it's my money. I get to choose what I do with it. Uh, damn right I would. I'd stay a company driver, because I got a lot of people say, I don't know why you do it for that. Well, I do it for a lot of reasons. Um, for me, tax benefits of being self-employed, I like that. I'm not bashing W-2. If you want to be W-2, be it. But for me personally, I think it works better for me as a self-employed person. And the main thing for me is the freedom of it all. It's like, if I want to take a month off, I take a month off. I don't have to call anyone. I don't have to ask anyone. In most jobs I've had in the past, I could not take a month off and still be employed at that particular employer. You know what I mean? Like, a couple years ago, I took a month off of work and just got in the car and rode around the country and went and saw a bunch of things and seen a bunch of things. And you know what I mean? Like, uh the carrier I was leased on to calls me and says, "Hey, do you still work here?" And I was like, "I hope so, but it'll be a couple weeks before I get back." It's tough to do that if you're an employee. Now, with that being said, you know being an employee, you earn lots of nice benefits, hopefully. But for me, I just see that as, kind of like they're kind of just giving me money back I've earned whenever they do that. That's how I see that stuff. Bonuses and things like that. It's like, well, I kind of generated that revenue, and then y'all got to do what y'all wanted to do with it. And then if you decide to give me a bonus, you decide to give me a bonus. But when I'm more in control of the revenue, um, I feel better about it. But I'm definitely not saying either, both. Like everything in life, there are pros and cons to it. Okay, so if you're one of these guys that love to get in the comments every time I have a 4 day, like my last weekly recap was a 3 day week. Technically, it bled into the fourth day, but I would call it 3.5, 4 days. Okay, and they're like, "Well, I make more than that doing line haul." Okay, I mean, do you do 4 days a week line haul? Technically, I delivered. I worked 3 days and then I delivered and went home. So it's like, if you make more money than me comparatively, then good on you. But to say in the comments whenever I have a 4 day week, "Oh, I made more than you." Well, you're not comparing apples to apples. It's So if you don't get that, then you should stay a company driver if you don't understand the pros and cons, And again, I'm not here to explain the world to everybody. So that's just how I see it. If you want to leave those comments, leave those comments. I don't care. The YouTube algorithm loves comments, so leave them by the dozens if you got to. But that was it, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If you watched this far, maybe think about hitting that subscribe button. You definitely should smash the like button for me, if nothing else. And come join me for a live show. Love those live shows. Have a lot of fun. The more, the merrier. And that's it. Take care of each other out there. Remember, people are more important than drunken. Hi, I want to talk to you real quick about the ES Advantage card. Do you need discounts at major truck stop chains? They got them. Do you need discount on shop rates at TA and Love's? They got them. Tire discounts. They even got health insurance now. Click the link down below. Easy application, no credit check. Sign up. They give you a call back. They'll take all your information and you'll be in the network.